welcome back. We have concurred our technical issue, so we're going to be speaking to Dr. Mohamad Ezaby, the international relations expert, on the latest encounter between the Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati and his Eritrean counterpart. Good evening to you, Dr. Mohamad. Dr. Mohamad, can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, good evening to you, and I hope you're having a good day, sir. Would like to speak to you on the recent encounter between the Foreign Minister Abdulati and his Eritrean counterpart. So how do you think, as an international relations expert, the extent of exchanging views between the two countries over different issues, especially regionally, and how is that going to be supporting peace and stability in the Horn of Africa?
Well, the visit of Egyptian Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati to Eritrea carries deep geopolitical security and economic implications at a highly sensitive moment for the Horn of Africa and the Red Sea region. The trip reflects Cairo's growing strategic focus on the Horn of Africa as a part of a broader Egyptian doctrine aimed at protecting national security, safeguarding maritime routes, countering regional instability, and strengthening alliance around the Red Sea basin. The visit also comes aimed at escalating regional competition involving major powers and regional actors seeking influence in the Horn of Africa, particularly after recent developments related to the Red Sea security environment.
Yes.
The Ethiopia-Somaliland maritime memorandum and ongoing tensions surrounding the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. First, Egypt increasingly views the Horn of Africa as an extension of its direct national security sphere. This perception has intensified due to several interconnected factors. The strategic importance of the Red Sea and the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, the growing militarization of the Horn region, competition over ports and maritime influence, the guard prices with Ethiopia, international competition between the United States, China, Russia, Turkey, Gulf state, and Israel in East Africa. Within this framework, Eritrea occupies a highly strategic position due to its geographic location overlooking the Red Sea and its proximity to critical maritime corridors. Dr. Abdulati's visit therefore signals Egypt's intention to deepen strategic coordination with Asmara and reinforce bilateral relations beyond traditional diplomatic engagement. Also, Eritrea is one of the most strategically positioned states in the Horn of Africa. It overlooks vital maritime routes linking the Suez Canal and the Indian Ocean through Bab el-Mandeb. For Egypt, Eritrea represents several strategic dimensions.
Yes.
Egypt considers Red Sea stability a core pillar of its national security architecture. Any instability near Bab el-Mandeb directly threatens international shipping, energy supplies, Suez Canal revenue, global trade routes. Strengthening relations with Eritrea allows Cairo to expand regional coordination regarding maritime security, anti-piracy operations, protection of navigation routes, monitoring military movement in the region. The visit also carries indirect implications regarding Ethiopia. Relations between Eritrea and Ethiopia have fluctuated dramatically over the years, despite periods of rapprochement. Egypt understands Eritrea's importance in shaping regional balances surrounding Addis Ababa regional ambition. Cairo engagement with Asmara can therefore be interpreted as a part of broader Egyptian efforts to build a strategic partnership around Ethiopia, increase diplomatic leverage in regional negotiations, prevent unilateral regional dominance.
Dr. Mohamad, you have listed quite a few things that Egypt is extensively working on from being not just in contact and in extensive contact with its African counterparts, but to be very present in the African continent as a whole. What is the exact message that is being sent by doing all of these activities by the Egyptian leadership?
Well, it aimed increasing international competition over the Red Sea corridor. The region has become a focal point for American naval deployment, Chinese strategic expansion, Russian military ambitions, Turkish influence, Gulf investment imports and logistics, Israel security calculations. Many things Egypt try to work in it through its relations with the African countries, especially the countries of the Horn of Africa. That's why Egypt seeks to ensure that Red Sea security remains primarily in hands of a littoral state rather than external power. In the context, cooperation with Eritrea supports Egypt's long-standing vision for regional ownership of Red Sea security, preventing foreign militarization from destabilizing the area, enhancing coordination among coastal states. Although the visit may publicly focus on bilateral cooperation and regional stability, the Ethiopian dam issue remains an underlying strategic factor. Egypt continues to pursue a multi-dimensional strategy regarding the GERD crisis, diplomatic engagement, international legal efforts, African mediation, regional alliance building. Closer Egyptian-Eritrea relations strengthen Cairo diplomatic positioning in the Horn of Africa and reduce Ethiopia's ability to monopolize regional influence. Moreover, Eritrea's own complicated relations with Ethiopia make Asmara an important regional actor in any future security or political calculation involving East Africa.
Right. Dr. Mohamad, this means only that the Egyptian leadership has a very strong presence in the African continent, and also it has a non-negotiable kind of situation when it comes to securing its situation in the Red Sea. Moving forward, we would like to know how do you see the significance of the African Union key role in preserving peace in the region, especially with, for example, Sudan suffering a huge crisis right now?
Well, we know that always His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi announced that Egypt supports the national institutions in any country, especially in the Arab countries and the African countries, yes, so that Egypt supports the Sudanese army, national army, in front of any power try to defeat the Sudanese army. So by the relations between Egypt and the African countries, especially under the umbrella of African Union, they can try to solve the crisis of Sudan, also the crisis of Libya. As we saw what Egypt done with Somalia to prevent any country of the African Union to confess by Somaliland. Yes. So Egypt always, as His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi always announced, that Egypt is a country of peace and always try to depend on negotiations, depend on diplomacy, instead of the strikes, instead of war, instead of using weapons. So Egypt tried to gather the two parts in Sudan, the two parts in Libya, and to settle the peace in these countries, especially that Egypt suffers from a lot of refugees comes from Sudan to Egypt, and Egypt needs to end this suffering by de-escalating in Sudan and set the peace in Sudan, so that all refugees in Egypt can be returned back to their countries.
Right. Dr. Mohamad Al-Ezaby, it was an honor having you with us on Nile TV International as usual. Thank you very much for your insights on the latest visit by an encounter by Foreign Minister Abdulati and his Eritrean counterpart. We are going to be still having more for you on Nile TV International. Thank